So we have very interesting news that Senator Tom Cotton, one of the most right-wing senators in the United States, is not backing the effort to challenge the Electoral College results. He's not aligning himself with Ted Cruz or Josh Hawley or Donald Trump, saying basically it's over, and while I share some of their concerns, fundamentally, all that's happening right now is you're helping the Democrats in the future. And I want to read a little bit of Tom Cotton's statement because I think it really shows that he's not doing this because he really opposes his own party's, cronies for Trump, but rather that he's trying to play a different sort of long game. And so it notes here, after he outlined some of his concerns, he says, nevertheless, the founders entrusted our elections chiefly to the states, not Congress. They entrusted the election of our president to the people, acting through the Electoral College, not Congress. And they entrusted the adjudication of election disputes to the courts, not Congress. Under the Constitution and federal law, Congress's power is limited to counting Electoral College votes submitted by the states. If Congress purported to overturn the results of the Electoral College, it would not only exceed that power, but also establish unwise precedents. First, Congress would take away the power to choose the president from the people, which would essentially end presidential elections and place that power in the hands of whichever party controls Congress. Second, Congress would imperil the Electoral College, which gives small states like Arkansas a voice in presidential elections. Democrats could achieve their long-standing goal of eliminating the Electoral College in effect by refusing to count electoral votes in the future for a Republican president-elect. Third, Congress would take another big step towards federalizing election law, another long-standing Democratic priority that Republicans have consistently opposed. So in essence, what Tom Cotton there is saying is, I'm not really against the substance of the arguments, but I worry about the precedent. And why this matters is not only that Tom Cotton is a very pro-Trump senator, votes with Trump frequently, very conservative, could be a sort of torchbearer for a more eloquent Trump-style candidacy and presidency going forward. For instance, he was one of the biggest supporters of Trump using federal troops against protesters. He wrote that abhorrent New York Times editorial that was criticized by so many people. That was him. That was him basically saying to Trump, sick the military on our own citizens. This guy's not a moderate. But he's doing this because he feels the conservative strategy is different. That's why this is significant. This is not a moderate just saying we need to accept the results because the results are accurate and we need to take them, and this is dangerous what the Republican Party is doing to democracy. More accurately, what Tom Cotton is saying, look, we have long-term objectives as a conservative movement, and this hurts those objectives. Even if some of those objectives are anti-democratic in nature, if we want to achieve them or preserve them, we have to cut Trump loose right now. And so you have Tom Cotton differing with other very conservative members of the Senate who think the immediate fight is save Trump now, whereas he's saying Trump is a millstone around our neck. What he's saying is like, look, if we do this, the backlash could be really big. This could encourage the death of the Electoral College. It could encourage greater federal imposition on election laws. He doesn't want that because Tom Cotton does not want every vote to count, and he doesn't want any, for instance, civil rights law to impose the rights and dignities of black people at the state level. He wants states' rights to flourish, not because he believes in this result, but because Tom Cotton knows that if the federal government guaranteed the right to vote, and if the federal government made it so that it was one person, one vote, and all these sorts of things, that would weaken far-right individuals like himself. So this is why Trump is done, for a variety of reasons. Crucially, though, Tom Cotton is saying, this is a different game. I am not playing the short game here about one man's vanity. He lost. We gotta look forward. And I think that that's just showing that even among the right wing of the Republican Party, leave out the Romneys and the Murkowskis and the Collins. Leave them out. They're right-wingers, but they're not on the right of their own party. Like, even among the right-wingers, there's a real debate here about what this means. And I don't know if, for instance, he was going to support Trump and then the Raffensperger tape came out and it was so damning that even Tom Cotton couldn't support such a blatant attack on democracy. It might be the case that, he's trying to do some calculations and maybe he feels that, while right now it seems like no one's going to be able to win without Trump's blessing in 2024, maybe he thinks otherwise. I'm skeptical, frankly. I think Tom Cotton, if he has any chance of becoming the nominee, really needs that Trump base. He really needs Trump's blessing because he lacks that natural charisma. But a blessing from Trump combined with his own skills as a truly evil politician could be a successful mixture. But it is fascinating here. No praise for Tom Cotton because he's doing all of this in service of evil. But I want you to see that it's not just Trumpers versus moderates. Even among the right, they're not exactly in agreement about how to transition to the next stage.